Welcome to Talking Football on 1252 Sports Entertainment. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Talking Football. It is Sunday, November 8th, 2020, and we are getting ready to kick off Week 9 football this week. I cannot wait. We got a good slate up for us, and there's a bunch of good games on today, and we're going to get that started. Today, we have a big guest joining us around 9:30. His name is Erik Lamert from SportsMockery.com and Sports Mockery. He is a great writer over there, and I'm really excited to have him on here, even though I don't agree with him all the time. It's going to be fun having him on. All right, with us as always is Angelo, Ace Camacho. Angelo, say hey, man, what's going on?
What's up, guys? Happy Sunday. Hopefully this week is a little bit more bear-friendly than last week.
Let's hope. And not only that, but we also have our guy, Tyler DeMouse, with DeMouse Fantasy. DeMouse, how's it going, bud?
What's up? Antonio Brown is back this week.
That's the best pickup for my fucking fantasy football team. I'm praying that this dude comes out and shows Steelers.
I picked him up all around, but we just got some breaking news that just came out.
Okay.
The Browns have placed Baker Mayfield on the reserve COVID list.
No dude, Baker Mayfield for today.
Watch them be better.
They're on a bye this week.
Oh, well, then he'll be back.
It don't matter. Who's their backup anyways?
Who knows?
That's
Garrett Gilbert?
Robert Griffin, right? No,
Robert Griffin's on the
Baltimore. He's on Baltimore.
Ravens, yeah.
I guess it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He'll be back next week. It's cool. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's give a quick recap of what happened last week in the NFL. What a shit show that was. I did not do good in the pick'ems. I don't think any of us did. But real quick rundown before we get to the pick'em records total. We had the Falcons beat the Panthers in a divisional game, 25-17. We had the Vikings completely upset the Green Bay Packers, 28-22. But really quick, I want to talk about this game really quick, guys. Did you know Aaron Rodgers is now 0-7 or 0-8? 0-7 or 0-8 coming off the daylight savings time game.
Yeah, it's because he's out partying too much with, the boys.
Like, that's a legit stat now. So now every time the Green Bay Packers are coming off daylight savings time, I'm betting the house against the Green Bay Packers. They're 0-7 or 0-8 or something like that. That's crazy.
Well, we've all watched Aaron Rodgers' chugging ability, so he's out at the bars, getting that chug on.
Oh yeah. All right, so I got something we can chug right here. All right, well, anyways, Vikings did beat the Packers 28-22. The Bengals upset the Titans last week 31-20. Titans could not get to Joe Burrow. I think it's the only team this year not being able to sack Joe Burrow. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive. Go Titans. We had the Jets really lay bricks on top of the Jets 35-9. We had the Colts beat the Lions 41-21. The Steelers and Ravens game, which was a very, very good game. The Steelers ended up with the win, 28-24. Dolphins beat the Rams 28-17. We will talk about this game, too, a little later on. God, the Rams suck. They are just a bad team. I am not liking that team at all this year. We had the Bills beat the Patriots 24-21 by the skin of their teeth. We had the Raiders beat the Browns 16-6, and which was a snore of a game. We had the Broncos unbelievably come back last week and beat the Chargers 31-30. That was a great game. I loved every second of that game. It was the one game that was on a little later, and I watched that game from, I don't know, the last fourth, the last quarter. It was a great game. The Saints did beat the Bears 26-23. The Seahawks trounced the Niners 37-27. The Eagles beat the Cowboys, the sad, extremely sad Cowboy team. They beat their ass 23-9. And the Bucks escaped with the skin of their teeth on Monday night, 25-23. Guys, pretty crazy matchup last week in the NFL. There was a bunch of upsets that I didn't see coming. I did not see the Dolphins beating the Rams at all. I did not see I didn't see that Giants-Bucks game being that close at all.
I was just going to say, man, the Tom Brady gets so pissed when his teams play down to the opponent. And that's exactly what happened on Monday night. I thought that game was going to be a blowout. And it was, I mean, it was pretty close for most of that game. And he was heated.
Yeah, I mean, pretty crazy when it's all said and done. I did not expect that either at all, period. I thought the Buccaneers were going to go in there and just roll house, and that was not the case. But how about, the Seattle Seahawks, man? I know that this is nothing new to talk about, but this team just puts up points at will. And I really love their offense. Russell Wilson, just an absolute fucking stud. And then you got DK Metcalf last week having a very, very, very good week. Everybody knows about this guy now because of the play he had the other night when he chased down that dude on the Saints. But this guy's unreal, man. Like DK Metcalf, he's a monster of men. He is ridiculously big out there. I don't know how.
That's what she said.
Well, they're making comparisons to this guy like he's Calvin Johnson. All right, now listen, Calvin Johnson is a very, very hyped up wide receiver in my book, man. I loved Calvin Johnson. He was my number one pick for years. I didn't care if the guy scored touchdowns or not because he always had 1,000 yards and 100 catches almost every single year. So it kind of balanced out. But they're making comparisons to Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson, in my eyes, is a Hall of Famer, guys. At least he should be. And then that's a pretty big testament to live up to, is to be, being compared to Calvin Johnson. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, he's I think people are going a little bit crazy there. Calvin Johnson was a fucking monster. Always a monster.
Yeah, Calvin Johnson was the shit. So
Angelo has the tools to be the best wide receiver in the league.
Right, the dude is.
Oh yeah, no, DK Metcalf is ridiculous. I'd love to have the guy.
Oh God, could you imagine?
Straight up athlete, that guy.
Honestly,
when I watched him run that guy down the other day, I was the other night. I mean, everybody knows the play I'm talking about, but everybody was like, "Did you just see that? Like, that was amazing, man! I couldn't believe that. I was like, you got to be kidding me."
Did you watch the aerial view camera of that?
I don't know if I did or not. I watched it a bunch of times, but I don't think I've seen an aerial view camera of it. No.
Oh, the camera that's like on the top of the field that fucking moves with the play.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you got to go and watch that. You just see him come out of nowhere and just completely pass everybody and just chase him down. He's
absolutely insane, man.
A dude that big should not be able to be that fast, and he is like, whew.
No, he should definitely not be that fast. He should be like me, like slow and not. But the guy, he's just going out there and just straight up slaying dudes. That's not fair. You know what I mean? Like that's not fair. Somebody that big should not be that fast. That's mean.
Yep.
It defies the laws of natural athleticism. I don't know how the hell that happens. But Angelo, after that, let's get into our pick'ems, man. I'm sure I did not have a good week. I don't think any of us had a good week last week. Let's break it down. What were the records last week?
All right. So going into last week, just for a recap, Tyler was in first place with 57, 32. I was in second place with 54, 35 and 1. And you were sitting comfortably in bottom at 49, 40 and 1. So,
all right.
But after last week, we made up some ground. Tyler actually had the worst week of all three of us for the first time this year. He stumbled. We didn't do great either, so it's not like we made up a ton of ground. But as of now, Tyler was 7-7 last week. I was 8-6, and you were 9-5. You had the best week so far.
All right, that's what's up.
Now that'll bring our final standings. Tyler's at 64, 39 and 1. I am at 62, 41 and 1. And you are at 59, 45 and 1.
All right, I'm making.
So it got a little closer. I'm within 2 games of Tyler. You're within 4 games of me. So that's 6 games. The 6 games separate you from Tyler. So if you have a pretty solid week and he doesn't, that's it's pretty much over there.
All right, so let's get into this week's Week 9 matchups then. Let's hop on this right now. Like I said at the beginning of the show here, we do have a very good slate of games ahead of us. We did pick for the Thursday night game. Tyler and I picked the Packers over the 49ers, and Angelo, I'm sure regrettingly now that he knows I had a nice week last week, picked the Niners, and I'm making my comeback, boys. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. All right, so today we got a good slate of games. We got the Texans at the Jaguars at noon. That's our noon slate. Angelo, I will let you go first on this one, so go right ahead.
Texans.
You're taking the Texans. Tyler, who are you taking?
Yeah.
I got Texans as well.
I am taking the Texans as well. So Texans across the board. There we go. We got another noon matchup, which is honestly kind of an intriguing little game. It's a battle of two garbage-ass teams. The New York Giants take on the Washington football team in Washington. So, Tyler, who you going?
I got the Washington football team, hoping to cash my Washington football team futures bet to win the NFC East at plus 1,400. Hopefully,
There you go.
Catch some ground on the Eagles.
There you go. I'm gonna let Angelo take the next one. Go ahead, Angelo.
So this game's kind of tough because both teams are bad, right? But the Giants played okay against Tampa Bay on Monday night, and people are like, "Oh, Daniel Jones is the quarterback for this team." I don't see it, but I'm gonna say that the Washington team's defense is better than the Giants' offense. So I'm going to go with Washington.
All right. So I'm going against everything in my being by doing this. I'm pretty sure by now everybody knows how I feel about New York. So, but I'm going to go against my entire being.
You're going to get pissed off.
I know I am, but I'm going to take the
last
Giants.
2 weeks, all the bitching he's done about the whole state of New York.
I'm never picking.
Goes right.
Let's never picking it.
I gotta try. The only reason I'm doing this is because I need.
Pain?
Yeah.
I need to make. What's that?
He said you like pain.
You like pain?
Yeah, because I like feeling miserable. No, well, I am a Bears fan, guys, so I got that going for me. But no, honestly, I'm going to take the Giants in this game only because I need to make up some ground. And I think that this is one of the grounds. If it is an upset, I get one game closer, getting closer to you guys. I don't think the Giants are going to win this game, but I'm going to take the Giants in this one. All right, the next game, Ravens Colts, another very good game. Tyler, who do you like in this one?
I got Baltimore. Reports coming out as they're getting most of their defense back today from the COVID list. So that made it iffy, but with them getting most of their defensive players back, I like them today.
Okay. Angelo.
Yeah, I got Baltimore also. I like the Colts, but I just don't know if they're – I don't know who they are yet. You know what I mean? Like they show flashes of being a great team, and then they show flashes of being an okay team. So – I'm going to take Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm on the same page on this one. Even though I do like this game, I do like the Colts. It's in Indianapolis, which doesn't matter, to be honest with you at this point. But I'm going to take the Ravens in this one, but I think it's going to be a lot closer of a game than what everybody thinks. I don't think the Ravens are going to go in there and blow them out. All right, another noon matchup we got, which is a very intriguing game too. The NFC North matchup, the Detroit Lions go on up to Minnesota to play the Vikings. It's going to be a good game, but I am going to take the Detroit Lions in this one. I think Matt Stafford comes back, even though no Kenny Golladay today, right, Ty? He's out again?
I believe so. I don't think I've seen a definitive answer, but he did not practice this week.
Yeah, he's had a rough season. He's all banged up, and I know that he wants a contract extension and all that other good stuff too. He's our version of Allen Robinson up there. So, Angelo, who are you taking in this one?
Man. Again, the Vikings, when they look good, they look really good, like they did against the Packers. But I don't know if that's consistent. I'm going to take the Vikings just because I think their running game is really good.
Yeah, no, their running game is Dalvin Cook's a stud, man. Dalvin Cook's unbelievable. What did he had like 4 touchdowns last week?
Yeah.
He had 4 touchdowns against the Packers.
That's ridiculous.
He rolled them. Hey. Calm down. Derrick Henry will probably put up 6 against this Bears team. So let's just when we get to that game.
He'll put up his high school numbers today against the Bears.
That made me laugh. I'm glad that happened against the Packers. That's for sure. All right, next game.
Wait, Tyler.
Oh yeah, Tyler.
I didn't make a pick. I got Detroit, and Kenny Golladay is also ruled out for the day.
Okay. All right, but Matt Stafford, who was earlier, they were saying he's got the vid, man. He's got the vid-19.
He had a close contact. Right. He was playing today.
Yeah, he's got the 19, is what the kids are calling it these days. Hey, old man, you got the 19?
Yo, you got that 1-9, son?
You got that 1-9, son?
I heard they were calling it the boomer remover.
I'm good with that. I'm okay with that.
I dig it. That's good.
I'm totally, dude. I am pro COVID-19 at this point, honestly.
Oh,
The boomer remover.
I wouldn't go that far.
Nope. I'm done. I'm taking a page out of Bill Burr's handbook, and the United States and the entire Earth needs a pandemic. So let's just keep, survival of the fittest. And if I'm one of the guys that drop off, then so be it. But
well, here, real quick, before we piss, there are people who have lost people in their lives because of this,
right?
So I don't know.
I know. I'm joking. I know.
I know, but some people are sensitive with this topic.
Traffic, traffic's really busy out there.
Oh my god.
But anyways, moving on from that game, we also traffic's terrible, man. It's miserable. Moving on to another noon game. Panthers. What the hell was that? Did you guys hear that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know what the fuck that was.
I didn't hear anything.
Someone said dinosaur real loud?
Not me.
I don't know.
All right. Anyways, to get back on track. All right, we got the Panthers against the Chiefs today in Kansas City. So who are we thinking in this one, Angelo? Dinosaur.
I mean, I'm gonna take the Chiefs. At this point, you can't bet against the Chiefs at all.
I did 1 week and I won. Boom! When they lost to the Raiders. All right, Tyler, who are you taking?
I got Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm taking Kansas City too. The fucking Carolina Panthers suck, man. They are not a good team.
Yeah, the Teddy Bridgewater signing is looking less and less like a good deal.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying he's bad,
but Christian McCaffrey does come back today,
right? But
yeah, they said they're going to spell him today. They're not going to give him a bunch of workload. They don't want to push him too bad, so Mike Davis is going to be mixed in a little bit.
Okay, all right. And for the best of the noon games, I think today we have the Seahawks in Buffalo against the Bills. I really like this game. So what are we doing with this one?
Ty?
One more time. You want to repeat that?
Seahawks Bills in Buffalo.
I got the Seahawks.
Yeah, I agree. I got Seattle also.
Yeah, I can't bet against Seattle right now, man. They're the hottest team in football right now. I really like this team. All right, so we're all three across the board with that. Yep. We have the Broncos and Falcons. Kind of a weird game today in Atlanta. I like to shy away from this game. I don't know, man. But I think in the long run, I'm going to take Atlanta in this one. Since it's in Atlanta, I'm taking Atlanta.
If I was a betting man, which I am, I would not touch this game unless it was just to do some little prop bets throughout the game. I am going to take Atlanta also. I just think their offense is just going to be too much for for Denver to keep up with.
All right, Tyler?
Yeah, I also got Atlanta as well. They've been playing a lot better since what the fuck's his name got fired? Dan Quinn, since Dan Quinn got fired.
Yep.
Yeah, they have been playing a lot better since Dan Quinn got the boot. All right, after that game, we have another good game in my eyes. Another divisional game. We got the Raiders and Chargers, which is a good game. Angelo, lead us off, man. Who are you taking in this one?
Man, I don't know. It's tough because like the Chargers look so good for most of the game, and then they find a way to lose. I'm gonna say the Chargers. I think this is a week where they close the deal on a game. So I'm gonna go Chargers.
See, this Chargers team, like I honestly feel like they are the worst good team. They're like the worst good team in football. I said that last week. I'm saying it again this week. It's same thing with the Bengals. They're the worst good team in football.
Yeah.
Like the Bengals have everything rolling for them right now on the offensive side of the ball. T. Higgins looks great. Mixon looks good, but he's banged up a little bit. Giovanni Bernard steps in and has a nice game. Joe Burrow, I mean, that guy looks like he's poised to lead a team for the next 12 to 15 years, and so does Justin Herbert. There isn't enough blabbing on this guy right now. This guy has been awesome all year long. And I don't know, man. I like this kid. But in this game today, I'm gonna go with the Raiders only because the fucking Chargers, they cannot buy a win at this point. Like they're that weird of a team. I don't understand this team.
Yeah, it's confusing. Makes you really think that Anthony Lynn will not be back next year.
I think he will only because of all the injuries that he's had. Bosa being down, and then Derwin James being down, and
It's been like that for years, though. They're always very injured every single year, and every year they do this. They can't find a way to win the games. They just blow it every time.
then something has to be changed with their rehab or something. Whatever it is, they got to do something to make this fucking team better and viable. Because now they legitimately have, and I think Keenan Allen's out today too. Check that, Tyler. I don't know about that, but if you
Keenan
can, check
Allen
that.
is playing. I'm pretty sure. I saw that earlier.
All right, so guys, I mean, just keep, we are going to hit these games and talk about who's inactive and stuff like that. Tyler has the list of all that stuff. But all right, so the next game, Tyler, who are you taking in this one? I'm sorry.
I got Vegas. Like I said, the Chargers just find a way to lose these games.
Yeah, no, and that's what they've done all year. They've just found ways to lose games. I'm gonna love this game this afternoon, guys. There's only like 3 matchups in the afternoon today. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like these 3 afternoon matchups. I need to have 4 on at least. But anyways, the afternoon matchup game that I'm really excited to watch is Tua against Kyler Murray in Arizona. So the Dolphins playing the Cardinals. Both of these teams have looked really good on offense. Well, not so much the Dolphins with Tua. But anyways, all right. Kyler Murray, this kid's a fucking stud, man. This kid is good. He is very, very, very good. He just needs to limit down his dumb interception plays, and I think they got a really good team down there. But in this game, guys, who are you going with? Tyler, we're going to start this one off with you.
I got Arizona. Tua did not play well last week. He didn't need to play well. The defense won them that game because Jared Goff's terrible.
Jared Goff. Discount fucking media. Discount generic Trubisky.
I'd say a poor man's wannabe Aaron Rodgers. That's what people compare
nowhere near the talent.
That's what people were comparing him to when they were making that Super Bowl run. Oh, he's got the arm strength. Oh, he's got this. Oh, he's got that. Bro, he's been terrible for the last 2 seasons.
The Bears have placed another offensive lineman on the COVID list.
Yeah!
Bro, it's
Latavius Simmons. Who the hell
do you know who that is?
Simmons?
Because I don't. So he was never going to see the field.
They have activated Aaron Neary from the practice squad today.
Woo! All right. We're going, baby. We're going. All right. The next game on the schedule after that we have Angela, who are you taking? I'm sorry. Who are you taking?
I'm going to take Arizona also. I like Tua. I like Tua, but I just think he needs to get a couple games under his belt before that team starts to roll a little bit better.
Right. I'm gonna take Arizona as well. I just think this offense is not gonna be able to have the Miami defense stop them. DeAndre Hopkins and it's the Kyler Murray. They just do it both. They do it with their legs. They got a good running game down there. Chase Edmonds, I think, is starting today because I think Kenyon Drake is out again today. But they're still going to be a very, very tough team to beat with Miami's defense.
Here's the thing. Miami doesn't have like the greatest offensive weapons to have made that move, I don't think, at least. I think it was weird for them to make that switch when they did. But I just don't think they thought it through. Like, if you're looking to get a look at Tua because you have extra draft picks this year, I kind of get it, but if you give him nothing to throw to, then what was the point of making this change?
Right. No, I'm gonna take Arizona, man. Arizona's just too good, too strong offensively for the Miami Dolphins. All right, and Tyler, I think Tyler's taking a shit really quick. So we're gonna move on to the other 3:25, the late start afternoon game. We have the Steelers Cowboys. I'm just gonna pick for Tyler in this. Like, I think honestly, I know he wants the Cowboys. He's a big Cowboy fan, and so that's what happens when you just drop out and like, I gotta poop. Peace.
I know he said his phone was dying. Maybe
Right.
he just died on him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm out of here. I'm out."
Who knows? Who knows? And then after that, we have
All right, we have to make picks.
We're all taking the Steelers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's decided. It's just decided.
It is done.
Let's go to the next game after that. We need him back here soon, or else I am going to pick for him. Flip ahead quarter. Here we go. We got the Saints Bucks 7:20 tonight. Going to be a good game.
So that game is going to be great.
Is he here? Are you here,
Tyler? I don't think he hears us. I don't think he hears us.
He's ghosting us. He went dark.
Zero Dark Tyler over here.
Zero Dark Tyler. He's nope. All right. Well, he's still gone. All right. So, Angelo, who are you taking in this one, man? It's kind of this seems familiar.
It's comfortable.
It's comfortable. Yeah.
It's like an old pair of shoes.
Tyler bringing the tension.
I don't know, man. This game's going to be. I don't know if it's just because the Bucks look so bad on Monday night for a while. Michael Thomas is still fucking Tyler. Hey, Tyler, is Michael Thomas?
You wanted the Cowboys, right? You wanted the Cowboys over the Steelers?
So I heard you. I do not want the Cowboys. I want the Steelers. Michael Thomas is playing today.
Oh, okay.
And I sent you guys messages in the chat to let you guys know what the hell was going on.
Oh, I do see it.
Oh, yeah. He did have to shit. He legitimately had to shit.
Dude,
bro, you should have just brought it with you.
I tried making it as long as I could. It just got to the point like, dude, I can't do it anymore.
It's like a pregame. It's like pregame before a basketball game. Every day.
Private message. You guys are getting it right here. All right.
All right. So what are we on right now? The Bucks and the Saints, right?
Bucks Saints. CBTYT. Can you greet my friend Yasin Durian?
Yeah, you're welcome. Greeted. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome, Yasin Durin.
What's up, Yasin?
Yasin. All right, cool. Yeah, what's going on?
I'm gonna pick New Orleans. Oh, I don't like that pick, but I'm gonna pick
that's a game. This is a game I'm staying away from too. It's a tough game. But gun to my head, I'm gonna take Tampa Bay in this one.
I wanted Tampa Bay. I should have just.
I'm taking. And once you say it, you can't take it back.
I know.
So that's the name. That's the name of the game.
I got it.
That's the name of the game. All right, Tyler, who are you taking in this one?
I have Tampa Bay in this one.
All right, so 2 Tampas and a Nolans. 2 Tampas and a Nolans. All right, and really quick, before we got Erik Lamert coming on here in a minute, guys, which I'm really excited about. We're going to talk about the Bears game with him. We got one more matchup to go through really quick before we get to the Bears game. Patriots at Jets. I'm pretty sure this is. I think this is going to be a better game than what you think because Patriots suck.
Yeah, but they're just really bad. The Jets are just really bad. So I'm going to take New England.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell this game is on Monday Night Football.
Oh my God, Monday Night Football.
You can't flex this out. Come on.
Angelo went dark 32. I think he's pooping too. Oh nope, never mind.
His kid's calling for him in the background, but I have New England as well.
All right, yeah, and I'm going to take New England in this one too. The Jets are just terrible. Anything that Adam Gase touches turns to shit. I mean, it's not even fair. And I think the Jets are just honestly the worst team in football, next to the Giants. I don't know. I'm not taking any chance on the Jets. I'm not taking 2 New York fucking football teams in one game today. That's not happening. So I'm sorry, it's just not happening. But yeah, on that note, I am taking the New England Patriots as well. So let's break down this Bears game. I just texted Eric. He's going to be on here with us in about 5 minutes. I'm really excited to have him. All right, so the Bears take on Tennessee today. We always talk Bears last, guys. So go right ahead. What do we got going on here? Angelo.
I always go last on the Bears game.
Can never pick against the Bears.
I always go last.
I got Tennessee. I don't think the Bears are going to be able to score to keep up with the Titans. I mean, they might hold them to about 17 to 20 points, but I don't think the Bears offense can actually put up that many points.
One thing I will say is this: the Tennessee Titans cannot stop anybody on third down. They couldn't stop a fucking nosebleed on third down, but they did make some moves this week. That I know they got stuff going on. They picked up a pass rusher. He's back. They picked up one of their cornerbacks is coming back healthy, which is fantastic. But I'm taking Tennessee in this game too. I cannot take the Bears in this matchup. I don't know why. Their offensive line being depleted. It's just a bad team right now, guys. The offense cannot get going. They looked decent last week, but that's still not the case. I'm still taking Tennessee in this one. Angelo, who you taking?
So the Bears did not look terrible the first half of last week, right? Yeah. They looked pretty good, actually.
Right.
And then the second half happened, and that's the story of the season, right? I have a feeling, call me a meathead or whatever you want to call me, I have a feeling that with all these offensive line shift arounds, that they might accidentally stumble into a combination that actually works. Call me crazy. I don't care. And I'm hoping that with, the COVID scare that they had, they weren't able to practice. I'm hoping Matt Nagy simplifies the playbook. And if he simplifies the playbook, I think they have a chance to win. I'm going Bears.
All right. So we got 2 Tennessees and the Bears. And on that note, guys, our guy from over at Sports Mockery, Erik Lamert, is joining the show with us. Let's give him a big welcome. Erik, what's going on, my friend? How you doing?
I'm doing good, boys. How are you?
We're pissed off, disgruntled Bears fans, Erik. That's what the hell we are, man. That's what it boils down to. Except for this guy right here. This guy, obviously you can tell he's in his Packers garb. You know what? We got 3 Bears fans here. You're out of here, Tyler, and he's gone. So just like that. That's
get your ugly face off.
Yeah, let's get my ugly mug off the thing. Now we got 3. Look at this, 3 handsome gentlemen here. How about that? Let's add this dick bag back to the thing here. Here he is. All right, Erik, what's going on with this Bears team, man? Help us out. I know we have a bunch of offensive woes. The O-line's been rough. The Bears are still struggling to put up points. Let's start this off like this. What's going on with this Bears team? How can we fix this? What's going on?
Basically, it comes down to they're too often beating themselves in very key situations. It's not just the injuries. Believe me, the injuries are a factor. You just can't deny it. Also, losing Eddie Goldman on defense has been proven a big problem all year. It was going to be a big problem all year because you just can't replace somebody like that. So injuries have played a part and other losses as well, but also, the little mistakes, the bad penalties at bad times, drop passes, all of that stuff is contributing to this team's recent slide after such a strong start. They're a resilient team. They've been battling. Their only bad loss was in LA. Aside from that, every game's been close. So it's not like they've been getting beaten down. It's just really frustrating because this team is good. They're talented. And they've played that way at certain times, but they still haven't been able to put a complete game together. And that's what's frustrating everybody right now.
Right. We here, on the show, this is Talking Football, but we also have the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show. That's how you and I actually started talking initially. We deal with a lot of Chicago Bear meathead fans. I think they're still, there's still a chance. There's a chance. Listen, and I've told this to Yurko, I've told this to Carmen. We've had these guys on. I'm a glass is where it is type of guy. Shit in one hand, hope in the other. See which hand fills up faster type of guy. Where are you sitting right now? Do you think this season is just kaput and hey, we're not making the playoffs, or we'll make the playoffs and get bounced, or do you think there's still a legit chance for this team?
I think there is. It's a lot slimmer than it was when the season started because of what they've lost, but I still think this is a good enough team. They have a strong enough defense. It's still good. A lot of star power on that side of the ball. And then their offense has pieces too. Allen Robinson is great. Darnell Mooney's starting to come along. He's looking really strong. I think they've got enough at tight end. It's just a question of, can they figure out the type of game plan each week that can be their identity enough to make those guys excel? If they can, I think they're good enough to win enough of their games down the stretch to sneak into the playoffs. I'm talking 10-6, 9-7. That should be enough to get them in. Now, can I also see them, falling apart down the stretch because of all that they've lost? Absolutely, because it seems to be trending that way. They're frustrated with Matt Nagy and his play calling. He's been struggling to find an identity for this team for 3 years now. So yeah. I think all of that is sort of culminating in which fork in the road are you going to go down? Are you going to go down the collapse where everybody probably gets fired, or is Nagy, who is a good leader, we can't deny that, going to be able to rally the troops again and get these guys focused down the stretch and win enough games to get them into the playoffs?
Now Eric, that brings me to a question that I had. So for the last for about the beginning of the, we heard give Matt Nagy the opportunity to, get a quarterback he wants in, see how it goes, but it hasn't looked great. So do you think, I don't think they'll make the change before the bye week, but could you see them possibly making a change at play caller at the bye week?
I'm not going to say it's impossible. I do think it is a definite possibility, but I really think Matt Nagy believes that the play calling isn't the primary issue with the offense. I believe that, he sees it as guys, not only the injuries, obviously the offensive line is playing a big part in all of this because they just aren't executing well enough because of their deficiencies, but also because you can see the little mistakes here and there where the big plays are there, they're just not hitting them enough.
Right.
And I think he's holding on to that right now because if we could just hit more of those big plays, he thinks everything will start to click. And he's not entirely wrong about that, but at the same time, he continues to make these mistakes that good offensive play callers just can't afford to make. So I think a lot of this is going to depend on how they finish the next two games. If they go 1-1, I think he'll probably end up keeping the call sheet. If they go 0-2, then he might be forced to reflect and think about, maybe I should turn this over to Lazor or DeFilippo or somebody and just focus on coaching the team.
Right. Now, if like worst case scenario, like you said, if they go 0-2 this week, I know that there's talk, COVID year, this and that, but if they somehow manage to just take a giant step back and maybe win 2 more games this year, can they really truly look themselves in the mirror and say, hey, Matt Nagy's the guy for us? I don't think Ryan Pace will be here next year. That's just me personally, but I had some hope that Nagy would be back. But do you see them potentially moving on from him if they, if this is just a collapsed year?
I do. It's always about context. If you start 5-1 and you finish 7-9, you can't escape something like that. That's inexcusable. Right. I get with the injuries and all that stuff, but that's a monumental collapse, and that falls at the feet of the head coach, regardless of excuses. So
the only, not to cut you off, Eric, the only reason I see something like that happening, though, is the same type of deal like how we just seen down there with Dallas, losing Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is a difference maker that can win you 5 games. The Bears don't have that. So, I mean, I see what you're saying, but I mean, I don't think on a COVID year, any of them go, to be honest with you, unless they really tank the second half of the season. And I'll let you continue back to what you were saying. I apologize.
And I understand you're thinking that, but you also have to remember McCarthy's in his first year. Nagy's in his third.
Right.
And he's trended downward since his first year, 12-4, 8-8. So if he goes 7-9 or 6-10 or something like that, that's a trend. Something that tells you that as the team has started to diminish a little bit, his coaching ability has been exposed. And I think the Bears ownership will be forced to recognize that because his offense was supposed to be a strength of this team. That's one of the reasons he was hired. And it's been consistently one of the worst in the NFL for 3 years now. So I think all of that will play into it, aside from the 5-1 to, a losing record sort of thing. So it all culminates in what I think will be the decision to move on if that ends up happening.
So at the beginning of the year, I think you got us frozen here, Eric. I'm sorry. I think you just you guys see that too? Is he moving on your end or no?
No.
He's frozen. All right, but we can still hear you, Eric. It's just a picture of you. With this team, obviously, we know what we did in this year's draft, drafting Cole Kmet and drafting Jalen Johnson. I was a firm advocate that you have to get O-line help immediately to help this offense get secured, whether you had Mitchell Trubisky or Nick Foles back there playing quarterback. It didn't matter because the O-line was in that rough of shape. This year, the Bears got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 5, and a 7. They don't have a 4 for the trade that they made with the Jaguars to bring in Nick Foles, and they don't have a 7 with the trade with the Raiders to bring in Eddie Pinheiro. What do you see the Bears doing this year, and where do you see them falling in this year's draft?
You know, where they're sitting right now at 18, I think that's sort of the ballpark they're probably going to end up at. You know, later teens, maybe early 20s, maybe 15, something like that, because they're a good enough team to still go 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
You know, aside from everything. So I think that's going to be their ballpark. And if that ends up being where they do go, I don't think quarterback is probably going to be where they go. It'll probably be offensive line. This is a really this is a really strong offensive line class from everything I've seen, both at tackle and on the interior. So I think they can get themselves a really good offensive lineman in this draft. Now, if, say, a Zach Wilson or a Trey Lance happens to fall in their lap, they do have to consider it because those two guys are really talented, and I think they can be somebody you can build around. But if that doesn't end up happening, which I don't think it will, because quarterbacks always go quickly in the draft, I think offensive line is definitely going to be their focus.
Excellent. Tyler, Angelo, you got anything?
Yeah, I was curious. Well, go ahead, Ty. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you think we see any more of Mitch Trubisky this year taking over for Foles, or do you think Nagy's going to roll with Foles the rest of the way, even after Mitch Trubisky gets healthy?
I personally think Nagy feels that the Trubisky train is gone now. It's way out there. It's not coming back. He's done everything he can for Mitch, and he just wants to move forward and basically see what he has in Foles. He wants to get a good, clear picture of what he has in Foles. And if he likes what he sees, they might move forward with him because, remember, he's only 31 years old. He's definitely not completely over the hill yet. So, but if what he sees from Foles isn't what he wants, then he knows that, okay, Trubisky's not the guy. Foles isn't the guy. We got to go get ourselves a new quarterback, that sort of thing. Now, if Foles gets injured, of course, we're probably going to end up seeing Mitch again. But that's the only way I envision Trubisky getting back on the field.
All right.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up because there's been reports, Trubisky's had some shoulder issues. If you were Trubisky, would you rush back? Because worst case scenario, you get hurt, you're not going to be back with this team, and that's just going to put you in a terrible spot for free agency.
It's a fair point. And, I can't deny that. But at the same time, you have to remember the kid himself. He's a tireless worker. He's a complete team player. And he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who would do something like that. He'll try to get back as quickly as he can and always be ready in case another opportunity rises up. Because if he does get back on the field, there's a chance he could actually really play well, and that would change the narrative of how this whole thing plays out. So I think he'll try to get back as quickly as possible, but also responsibly because, you don't want to rush back, especially with a throwing shoulder injury.
Right. And maybe I've missed this, Eric, but why haven't the Bears brought in more O-linemen to at least try to improve somewhere along this offensive line? There was a few guys that got wavered that they didn't even take a look at. They haven't brought anybody in for tryouts. Are they just that stubborn and stuck with the guys in the room, or is there the COVID situation? What's the reason for this?
It's a fair question and one I've kind of wrestled with for weeks, but they did just bring in Eric Kush for a visit, so I assume they're probably going to end up signing him. Another guy I'm really hoping they take a look at is Stefan Wisniewski. He was just cut by the Steelers, and he has loads of experience in this type of offense with Philadelphia and Kansas City, so that's somebody you should keep an eye out in the coming days. But yeah, it's really difficult to figure out because they can probably get most of these guys for cheap, but at the same time, they seem to trust what they have, either that or they really don't want to spend any money because they're trying to roll over as much cap as possible into 2021 so they can try and do a little bit better business because they're projected to be over the cap next year. So it's a really fluid and difficult situation to digest because of this whole COVID mess.
Right.
Eric, you released an article this morning saying on Sports Mockery here, a great article about the wide receivers. Is there frustration with the wide receivers and Matt Nagy right now? What's that report?
Basically, yeah. The question that was raised was, with Nick Foles struggling, he's been up and down most of the time. He's been the starter. We've all seen this. Are the wide receivers frustrated with him? Are they looking back to Mitch or something like that? And what was reported was, no, the receivers actually think Foles is good. They think he can be good. They think he can be an effective quarterback. Their frustration centers somewhat around the play calling. They feel it's not putting Foles in a more advantageous position to take advantage of their skills. And I think that's where the frustration lies. So that's on Matt Nagy, obviously, because he's the play caller. So that raises even more questions about whether or not he should keep the call sheet in general.
Yeah, because it always seems like every time the Bears start to get in a rhythm, he's real quick to be like, no, slow it down. We're going to run this play. None of his plays seem to, build on each other. And I think that's a real issue, especially from a guy who, like you said earlier, is supposed to be this, this offensive guru, but your team hasn't been over the bottom 20, or, he's been 20 or less the last 3 years. I can only imagine how frustrating that is.
100%. The thing about Nagy is he doesn't seem to have a grasp of situations. When his offense is really in a rhythm and going, he just doesn't let it ride too often enough. He'll let it ride right up until a certain point, and then he'll try to get crafty with a certain play call, forcing them to huddle up and then execute this creative play he has designed. And I'm not saying these designs are bad, because he is a good play designer. He's had some great, ideas, but the problem is doing that slows things down and affects their rhythm. And if they mis-execute it, that just throws everything out of whack, and they end up either kicking a field goal or having to punt. That's been the story all season long. So his issue is figuring out to go against his better nature when things are going well and just let it ride. If he can do that, I think this offense will be more effective. But if he just can't help himself and continue to try with these creative plays in bad situations, we're just going to continue to see what we have.
Erik, I got one more for you. Going back to it again, I read your stuff all the time, man. You keep me intrigued, and you're not afraid to argue points, and not afraid to get dirty with some of your points too. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that I agree with everything that you put out there. No, that's impossible for everybody to do. You had an article yesterday or the day before, I believe, about the O-line, and is it possible that they can fix this in 1 year? I want to ask you again: is this possible that the Bears can fix this O-line for next year?
Oh, 100% it's possible. 2013 was such a remarkable job done by the front office in rebuilding the O-line quickly. They replaced 4 starters, and it ended up improving from giving up 44 sacks to 30 sacks. So that, it shows you that it's possible. They signed Jermon Bushrod, a veteran tackle who was proven. They signed Matt Slauson, a solid guard. And then they draft Kyle Long in the first round. He starts immediately, plays really well, goes to the Pro Bowl, and then they get lucky with Jordan Mills in the 5th round. He becomes, a decent enough right tackle, and then you leave Roberto Garza at the center position, and things went really well that year. The number 2 offense in the NFL. And I think the Bears are actually better positioned now than they were back then, because I think they have 2 starters that they'll end up keeping in James Daniels and Cody Whitehair. So you'd only have to replace 3 instead of 4. So, yes, I absolutely think they can get it done, but they're going to need to probably find some money and use their first-round pick on an offensive lineman.
I'm sorry to keep you. I know that you're getting ready to do your stuff too today. I got if I just got a couple more for you, Erik. With this, let's start it off like this. We obviously have heard all the BS about the contract extension for Allen Robinson and how the Bears have yet failed not to do this yet. Do you think that he will get an extension? And if you were him, would you want to sign the Chicago Bears?
If I were him, the way things are trending right now, I probably wouldn't want to stay. I wouldn't blame him for wanting to leave, unfortunately, because he's such a good player. He's been great for them. I do believe the Bears absolutely want to keep him, and I do believe he wants to stay. But with the way things are going, he's getting frustrated, and he's turning 28 next year. His prime isn't going to last forever, and he's been playing with very mediocre to bad quarterbacks his entire career.
They're all pretty bad, Erik.
So, I do think he's probably not going to, be inclined to sign an extension unless they really up the money, which I don't think they're going to do because of their cap situation. So the way I envision it is they're probably going to end up tagging him next year and probably trade him to another team for a high draft choice. That's the way I envision it right now, unless things trend in a better direction down the stretch.
And then with the other one I wanted to ask you, we're getting closer to kickoff here today. The 3 of us, us 3 shitheads, 2 of us picked the Tennessee Titans. 1 of us will never pick against the Bears. I'm asking your outcome right here, Erik. Who are you think is going to win this game today? What's your prediction?
I actually think it's going to be closer than people think. I think the Bears are going to be competitive, but unfortunately, with Derrick Henry on the field, and the run defense being so leaky, I don't think they're going to be able to stop him enough to, keep Tennessee off the board enough times. I have it being close, 20-17, but I have Tennessee winning this game.
All right, Eric, again, how can all of our guys find you, man? I know you're over at Sports Mockery, but how can we find you on the Twitter machine and everything else?
I'm at Erik Lamert 1. I'm on Twitter all the time. Feel free to talk football with me.
Eric, thank you so much for joining us, man. I can't wait to have you come back on again. If you're willing, we'd love to have you. It was a pleasure having you join us this morning. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Eric.
Guys, thanks.
Take care, brother. I'll talk soon.
See
All right, guys. Erik Lamert, that was fucking awesome, man. At least he comes in here. Listen, I don't agree with this guy 100% of the time. There's stuff that he's written that I've read, and it's like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, I'm being honest. All right, just like I'm sure there's people out there that watch our show, the Fat Mike Show, Talking Football Show, that say the same exact shit about me. What the fuck is this dude talking about?
I say that, and I'm on the show with you.
Right. So, but listen, he brings up valuable points that aren't out of the realm of speculation or reality. He like, if you read his article, I want to say it was yesterday that he posted about the O-line. It gives me hope as a Bears fan that, like, dude, they could possibly fucking fix this if they draft right next year and still suck at quarterback. They'll still suck at quarterback.
Right.
Okay. But if you fix, you got to, like I said, you got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 5, and a 7. What I'm doing, O-line, quarterback, O-line, wide receiver. That's
if you're gonna blow a pick on a quarterback that late.
3rd round? No, I mean you could find decent.
You said it best earlier in the show. You said it best earlier in the show.
Very low percentage chance.
Right. You said the quarterbacks now don't last that long, and that's true. They just don't. Everybody in the NFL, except for the Bears, the Jets, and the fucking Browns, can evaluate quarterbacks. And even if they're not great quarterbacks, they're at least serviceable. And the Bears just can't do that. Guys like Russell Wilson don't fall that far in the draft anymore. They just don't.
Right. No, and I understand that. I understand it's hard. But first off, I want to say this. First, I understand that it's hard to find that diamond in the rough player. I understand that. The quarterbacks, your good ones, are being taken. But don't forget, a few years back, the New York Giants selected fucking Daniel Jones in the 1st round. And that dude's a fucking shit stain.
Yeah.
Right, he sucks. Danny Dimes is garbage. Sam Darnold.
Fans are pissed.
Huh?
Fans are pissed.
Daniel Jones might be better than Mitch Trubisky.
It doesn't matter. Okay, fine. If that's your
You're
argument,
better than Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, if that's your argument, okay, fine. I don't think Mitchell Trubisky is the shittiest quarterback in the NFL. I don't think that. Do I think he's a good quarterback? No. I'm not fucking dumb. I'm not brain dead, okay? But that being said, you can still fix this. And to my other point, when I started this, you have a GM in place that said that he was going to draft a quarterback every single year, and you should. All right, there are guys out there that I like, for example, Cole McDonald. All right, I liked him coming out of Hawaii. He's now behind Ryan Tannehill. Cole McDonald, he may be something someday if he ever gets the chance to shine. Ryan Tannehill isn't the greatest quarterback on the planet either. He had a resurgence in Tennessee because he's no longer with fucking Adam Gase in Miami. Okay, that's why he decided he's actually a very doable quarterback. But if you can find a guy, like Ryan Tannehill. You can find a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo. You can find a guy there's so many quarterbacks up and down the system that you can find in the 3rd round. Jacob Eason was one of those guys that I liked. He could be a serviceable quarterback for you, and you never know. He may have a time to shine. All right, Tony Romo was one of those guys. Tony Romo is not a 1st round guy. All right, I understand that it's hard to find those guys, but there's still those guys that are out there, right? You still have guys that are out there,
right? Hey, I get it.
Line, man. Everybody knows that's the Bears' biggest problem. Tyler, you're a Green Bay Packers fan. You know that the Bears' O-line it's leaky. It's like Yurko said last week with us. So, you fix one hole and you still got 6 more in your boat. You know what I mean?
You could drive a fucking boat through that fucking offensive line. Right. The fucking holes they're giving up.
Hold on. I want to ask you this question, Mike.
Okay.
The Bears can't get a fucking quarterback right with the number 2 pick in the draft.
No, I'm not. Okay, that's fine.
There is absolutely I have zero faith in this team finding a quarterback from third round and beyond.
Neither
At
do
that
I.
point,
Draft one late.
Draft one early.
No.
Fuck that.
If
You
you're
don't draft a quarterback early now to have him get his brains beaten for fucking next year. You can't do that.
Foles is on the team. You draft a quarterback in the second round, let him sit for a whole year, and you let him sit. You draft O lineman, get a quarterback, O lineman. Those should be your first 3 picks.
I don't
let
think
him sit. Well, then you're going to pick a guy that's going to be Tyler Bray.
90% of the time, you're taking a quarterback with a third round pick or later. They're not hitting, and you're just wasting a pick.
Right.
Fine. Okay. So you're not wasting a pick. You're filling a void to see what you can have. When you know that listen, you're 1 and 2 picks. All right, I understand, but you're not going to get your top guys out of. You're not going to get Trevor Lawrence. You're not going to get Trask. You're not going to get. I mean, somebody may be dumb enough to take Mac Jones for crying out loud. I hope it's not the fucking Bears because Alabama quarterbacks are horseshit. And that's still the jury's still out on Tua. But listen, I'm not a fan of Alabama quarterbacks. Okay. But that being said, your immediate need, like we just got done talking with Eric about, the immediate need, the immediate focus on this team right now is how bad that offensive line is. That offensive line can be fixed. And okay, fine. But you need, like he just said, 3 guys. Why not draft 2 really, really good ones with your first 2 picks? That way you legitimately solidify that O-line because now you got 4 starters on that O-line in Massey, who's the lineman that went out? Massey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whitehair?
This year.
No, he said Whitehair.
Cody Whitehair's out, and our other guy is hurt for the year.
Yeah, Bobby Massey, Daniels.
James Daniels is who I'm talking to. Daniels and Whitehair are the only 2 that you really need. But if you go out there and draft legit two offensive linemen here, a tackle and a guard, everything falls back into place. Or a center and a guard, a center and a tackle. You really need a tackle. All right. You move everything back to where it needs to be. Cody Whitehair is now playing his original position at guard. Your tackle is playing its original position. You drafted this, that, and the other thing. When you know you still got Nick Foles locked up, I'm not saying Nick Foles is the world beater like you and I were talking about earlier, Angelo. He's not a world beater. But to get you to that next point to where you can actually sit there and be like, okay, listen, now in 2022, in 2021, when you finish 8-8 with a good O-line and still a solid defense, all right, you can now go into that 2022 draft and find your quarterback with your first round pick.
Personally, I think the Bears should look to, depending on where they're at, trade back. I think they need to get.
No, God, no.
No, Mike, what's the worst thing that's happened to this team? They've lost draft capital. They lost it with the Trubisky pick. They lost it with the Mac trade. This team, there's so many holes. It's not just offensive line. There are so many holes on this team that need to be filled, including quarterback, including offensive line. They need better wide receiver play. They need.
It starts though. It's all starts at the stretch of O-line.
I agree with you, but here's the thing, especially from somebody like yourself who's been mad at the mediocrity. Building that O-line is just going to get us with Nick Foles to maybe a 9-7 record. That we've seen that this team is trash, and then you're going to bring in a quarterback from a 3rd or 5th round, and that guy's going to be nothing.
Fine, then don't draft a quarterback. Then fix your O-line.
I'd rather if they're not going to take one in the top two rounds, I wouldn't take one. That's just me personally, because you've seen the Bears do that this year in their draft and grab 2 offensive linemen at the end of their draft. Those fucking guys ain't gonna. Arlington Hambright, who's I think is starting today, which is sad. And then you got Deer Eelson, all right, the South African dude. Okay, fine. What okay, whatever. It's by the luck that Arlington Hambright. It's by luck, sickness, and injury that this dude's even in the fucking NFL today, starting this game. Sometimes you need a little bit of that. Matt Nagy has proven that he can't fucking evaluate offensive talent other than, Ryan Pace. Sorry. Pace has shown you he can't identify offensive talent. Maybe the Bears accidentally fell into a guy who might at least be average on the offensive line. If you can find, that's why I think it's ridiculous that they haven't brought anybody in, because the line is so bad right now. Bringing anybody in has to be an improvement. It just has to be. There's no way that you you look at this line and you're like, oh yeah, no, I like the guys in the room. Fuck that. Fuck the guys in the room. Get yourself 5 guys to come into Hallis Hall to practice, to try out, because one of those guys has to be better than what you already have.
I get what you're saying, man. I totally understand. I get where you're coming from. But at this point this year, with your cap struggle, with what you got going on, I seriously just let it ride out, and in the draft, just you got to draft right is what it boils down to. All right, I'm not, like you said earlier, that they don't. It's all playing ifs, whats, and buts. You know, it's exactly what we're doing here. We're arguing about something that we have no control of. That the Chicago Bears have never fucking shown us in the last 5 years on how to draft.
Right.
So there needs to be change.
They know how to draft running backs and defense. That's it. They suck everywhere else, especially Ryan Pace. That's why, as shitty as it is, I listen to the guys on ESPN 1000. I know you two guys listen to them also. I like what Adam Abdallah talks about a lot. If you're going to fire Pace, then just get rid of Nagy also.
Right.
Bring in a new GM. Bring in the GM. Let him have full autonomy of who his coach is going to be, and then let those 2 guys work to pick a quarterback, or at least to fix this team. Because then you're telling your fan base, hey, we know that this isn't going the way we want it to go. So we're bringing in these 2 new guys. It might be a struggle the next couple of years, but give us some time to get this shit right. Because I'm tired of, like you said before, this fucking carousel that we're on, where it's, oh, good game, terrible, terrible, terrible. Good game, terrible. I'm done with it. And I don't think being the 18th pick in the draft this year is going to do shit for this team.
See, that's where I think you're wrong. If you are 18, you can grab O-line, and like you just said, if the Bears suck, right? My ideal, if I own the Chicago Bears, right? What I would do, this is my just example. All right, Bears suck this year. They don't win a fucking another. They win 2 more games the rest of the year. They finish fucking 7-9, 6-10, even 8-8. Everybody's gone. Paige gone. Bye. Allen Robinson.
Even if they make the playoffs.
Even if they at 8-8.
Even if they make the playoffs at 8-8,
make the playoff teams.
If they make the playoffs, which I think is a fucking stretch, honestly, because this team blows.
Right.
All right. If they make the playoffs, yes, I'm still firing everybody.
I totally agree with you.
Because your record is dog shit. Nagy is not done. Your record is still dog shit, and the only reason you made the playoffs is because of COVID protocol extension. Yep. All right. So, yeah, I'm firing everybody. Okay.
But you know the Bears are going to ride that shit.
I'm going like this, too. In the draft, like I said, I'm going O-line. Like you just said, you got to ride it out with what you have, but then start fixing small. You're going to tell you guys, like, hey, guys, it's going to be a rough ride here. Some of you guys are going to be here. Some of you guys aren't going to be here. I'm not drafting a quarterback this year. And if I do, I'm drafting one in the 3rd, 4th round, or a 5th round. Okay, fine. Take one in the 5th round. A 5th round quarterback can help you better than a 5th round offensive lineman if you really technically think about it. All right. So, I mean, honestly, it does. It helps you fill up a space, and it helps you practice guys. You whatever. It doesn't matter. All right. But I'm going O-line, wide receiver, quarterback, O-line. I'm going all offense. I'm not even looking at fucking defense with what you have on that side of the ball. You got Eddie Jackson, Jalen Johnson. You got Fuller. You got Eddie Goldman coming back. You got Akeem Hicks. You got Khalil Mack. You got all these studs and players on that side of the ball. Don't worry about it. All right. Then go back next year, do what you got to do, and gain your ground. And then that's when you draft your quarterback. And then that's when you say, hey, Nick, thanks. It was nice fucking having you. Thank you for putting up with this bullshit. Or even Ryan Fitzpatrick. He hasn't played for the Bears yet. He's played for all other fucking 35 NFL teams. All right. He's played for teams that have folded and gone away at this point. All right. But
I'd rather have Fitz than who we have.
But that's what I'm saying. You made a good point when you were arguing that. Just suck. Yeah. Just do what you got to do to fix this team. And what's the very first thing you don't need any of these quarterbacks in this year's draft. I honestly think this year's quarterback class, besides the top 3, is a very weak draft class. Okay, I think it's
usually how it is. It's usually the top guys, and then
you're not going to find that guy. But next year, if you look at it next year, your top 3 teams that need a quarterback this year, Jets maybe grab one, Giants maybe grab one. Okay, I'm just saying that's who's going to get Trevor Lawrence or Josh Fields, and who's the other guy? Ty, help me out here.
Trey Lance. Trey Lance is my favorite QB prospect.
Okay, so there you go. Those are your top 3: is Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and Josh Fields. Right? Those are your top 3.
Trey Lance.
Justin Fields, Trey Lance.
Justin Fields, Trey Lance. I'm sorry, I'm talking too fast.
It's all right.
Justin Fields and Trey Lance, and then you got Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Of the teams that need a quarterback, think about it. Seattle don't. Green Bay don't. Philly possibly could use a quarterback. They just got
Green Bay does, and we got Jordan Love, don't you know?
Yeah, exactly. But you know, like there's other pieces that there's not too many teams that need one. Tua's going to ride it out with Miami.
At least we think.
You got Washington probably needs one. So there's your three there.
Miami, they might have a top 5 pick this year due to having the Texans' first round pick.
Right, and if Tua doesn't pan out,
if they can,
they're going to
get Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I would take him.
Go ahead, get rid of Tua. Get him out of there.
So this is what I think the Bears are going to end up doing, because they live in this fantasy world where, we'll just get somebody like they did it with Cutler. They traded for Cutler, right? Oh, he's going to come in and save the team. They're going to wait, and they're going to see that Dak isn't going to fucking sign with the Cowboys, and they're going to bring him in, and he's going to get annihilated on this team because the Bears just can't do anything right. Period.
Yeah, it's rough, man. I mean, it's rough.
I get pissed off every time we have this show.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we get so pissed off, and there's nothing that we could fucking do about it besides write a letter to the Chicago Bears saying, "Hey, you guys suck and do this. Have the popular vote. Let's do an election for GM. Chicago Bears election for GM."
Should I put a resume in, you think? Like, it can't get – I'll be like, hey, I'll put my resume in. The cover letter will just be big, bold words that say it can't get worse.
This is no bullshit. I've literally –
What do you have to lose?
Right. What do you have to lose?
I've literally sent out – like, when the Browns fired Kitchens, I was like, hey, I would love to coach your team. I sent them an email, like, I want to be considered for the job. I didn't get anything back. They're probably like, this clown.
Do you have any football experience? I watch it.
I watch a ton. I am the best armchair coach in the league.
But I mean, Tyler's right. I'll put on my the cover letter of my resume that says, "What is there to lose at this point, bitch?" That's what I'll say.
bitch. All right, guys. Well, that pretty much sums it up today. We had thanks for Eric. We got bets and stuff. Oh my God, Jesus! Bets and fantasy advice. Tyler, I'm gonna let you go to it, man. I'm gonna let you get to it. I gotta go yell at my dog, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna put you two. I'm gonna leave you two alone.
All right. So,
it's really intimate right now, Tyler. You and me just alone.
So, as usual, top guys under 50% rostered for the week. If you're in a bind, you need somebody to plug and play. QB, I got Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, and Drew Lock. Neither one of those guys is not a good option, but I think Drew Lock is the best option. But if you're in a pinch, you're in a pinch. You got to do what you got to do. Running back, I got Gus Edwards with Mark Ingram being doubtful today. I don't think he's going to play, so Gus Edwards should take about 55% of the work. And then Tony Pollard, he's got a rough matchup, but it looks like Zeke is going to miss the game. I don't think it's fully official yet, but it looks like Zeke is going to miss the game. Wide receiver, I got Laviska Shenault and Anthony Miller. So the Titans have given up. They're one of the worst teams against the slot wide receiver this year. So I like Anthony Miller he should have a floor of around 7-8 points this week. Logan Thomas and Trey Burton are my guys for tight end. Again, neither one of those guys are sexy, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Logan Thomas should get peppered with about 6-7 targets this week.
Yeah, it's been a rough fantasy year, man.
Oh man,
I know you had messaged us.
Dude, man, last Sunday, dude, I was on full tilt, man. I was losing my shit, man. It was the worst week I've witnessed this year.
Now I know we're gonna get into bets and stuff. I made a bet yesterday for a parlay, 12-team parlay. It didn't go so well. I don't watch college football often. And clearly that's not my strong suit because I picked Michigan to win. They didn't. I picked Clemson to win. They didn't.
Go blue.
It's rough. But now on to the bets. What are some? What's you got? One? You got a couple? What are we looking at? For place?
So I know I told you guys when we first started there was only one that I liked, but as we were going through the show, I'm just scrolling through and I found a couple more I like. But this is my favorite bet I think I found this year, and so I've absolutely hammered it. It's a 10-unit play for me. Most people probably only do 5 units, but if I find something I really love, I'm going to throw 10 units on it. But Christian McCaffrey over 37.5 receiving yards at minus 112 odds. They're playing the Chiefs today, and CMC does most of his damage catching the ball. They're going to be playing from behind, playing catch-up. They're going to be peppering him with targets. That is the lowest you're going to see that line for the next 5 years until he starts falling off. That line is super, super low. So, I mean, I'm hammering the shit out of that. My second one I found is Kansas City. Depends where you look. Some places have it 10. Some places have it 10.5. I got Kansas City minus 10.5 at minus 110 odds. Over their last 17 games, they are 15-2 against the spread. And I don't think the Panthers pose any threat to them this week. Obviously, shop around. If you can get the 10 over the 10.5 points, take it. Just in case they only win by 10, you get the push.
Right.
And then the other one is, like I opened the show with, Antonio Brown is back. Antonio Brown, anytime touchdown, plus 140 odds. You know Brady's going to try and get him one of them tutties today.
Yep. Like, I know we had talked, and I know you don't want to make any parlay bets for people just because they're so rare to hit all of the stuff. But I'm not a professional gambler, so I'll give some shitty gambling advice because I can. I have a couple parlays that, if you're like me, I got bills and shit I got to pay.
Oh, this guy, you made a parlay yesterday that was downright terrible. By the way, I'm back, everybody. You made a parlay yesterday that was downright terrible.
I missed the first game. Michigan blew it.
And by the way, you owe me $5.
Whatever. Where did he go? To shit again?
Well, no, he's not.
I had to wipe my nose. Didn't want to blow my nose on camera.
I had to wipe my nose.
So, like I just got done saying, Tyler doesn't want to do parlays because they're so iffy on hitting. I understand. Don't want to put his good name out there with bets. I, however, don't have a good name with bets. So I'm going to give a couple parlays, same game parlays, that I think might have a shot at working. Okay? Because if you're like me, I have bills and shit I got to pay. I just like to dabble, $10 here, $10 here.
It's a little lottery ticket.
Yeah, you're going to spend the money on a scratch off. Why not give this a shot? So I have 4 games that I think could potentially hit, right? First game is the New Orleans-Tampa Bay game. I think Tampa Bay wins this game. I like your anytime Antonio Brown touchdown.
Yep,
I like the anytime Alvin Kamara touchdown. So I would play those. And if you play that at $10, you win $68. Not a lot, but hey, it's better than nothing. Then I got the Steelers in Dallas. That's going to be Steelers are going to destroy. So they're going to put up points. I have the Steelers on the money line. I have a Chase Claypool anytime touchdown and a CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown.
Hey, I got a recommendation for that. So for the Cowboys, they are 0-8 against the spread this year. What's the spread? The spread should be around 10, right? 12?
I think it's 12.5.
I'd probably swap out the money line for the spread, and you'll get a whole lot better odds on that.
Well, thank you. I'm going to actually take a look at that. That's what's up. Remind me after the show about that. Then I got the Carolina and OKC game. I have OKC winning. Christian McCaffrey's coming back. I think they're going to try to get him a touchdown.
OKC.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, OKC.
My bad.
Russell Westbrook's going to have a touchdown today.
I put an extra letter. I meant just KC. I think Christian McCaffrey coming back, they're going to try to get him in the end zone. And then the Chiefs, they just put up points. I see Patrick Mahomes having a touchdown and Clyde Edwards-Helaire having a touchdown also.
I think you're very, very generous on just throwing touchdowns out to these guys.
Yeah.
How many touchdowns did they have last week?
A lot. But you're
Yeah,
just
a
like,
lot. And Patrick
this guy
Mahomes
gets a
had two.
touchdown, and Claypool gets a touchdown. And
You're acting
get
like,
a touchdown.
Hold on,
you get a touchdown.
Everybody
Look
gets
under
a
your
touchdown.
seat, and
Hold on.
there's a touchdown.
hold on. You act like Chase Claypool in one game didn't have 4 touchdowns this year.
No, I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm not
you
saying
are
that.
though. You are.
I'm
You just
not.
said it. You just
saying,
said it.
Listen, I'm saying
said
you're just like you know what? Lock it. Everybody on
I
Kansas
didn't
City's
say
offense has a touchdown.
Actually, it's only 2 people, and it's Patrick Mahomes who had 2 last week, and Clyde Edwards. Who had,
Passing don't count.
he had
Yeah,
didn't he have a rushing
passing-
touchdown last week?
No,
That was a couple weeks
Passing-
ago. Whatever. He'll
passing doesn't
have
count.
one.
passing don't
Fucking-
count.
The Panthers defense is trash in the red zone.
All right, geez, so hasty.
Well, I
How many
mean,
hours of sleep did you get today? Did you masturbate yet?
I didn't get any sleep last night. You know what? I'm not even gonna give you my game 4. So
No, go ahead. What's your game for?
no. When I win $1 million
We
off,
pissed them off. We pissed. Come
when
on,
I
back.
win $1 million off this
Come
one.
on, come
Nope.
on back. Come on back.
I got Seattle, Tyler Lockett, Stephon Diggs on the over.
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Oh, on the over. Okay.
Yeah,
Stephon Diggs.
for the Bulls, the Bills, not the
For
Bulls.
OKC.
Man, you're in a basketball mood today, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's,
I guess. Well, you know why? Because I just dropped the newest episode of the Sport Core
Yes, you
podcast,
did.
and I had our buddy Salim on there, and we were talking NBA. So
And you're frozen.
the NBA is kind of just in my mind right now, and the draft's coming up.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
See how fast he was? Jesus. All right. I'm sorry. You okay?
Whatever. I quit. Just kidding.
Fuck this. I quit. Are you okay? You need a hug?
I'm out.
You want a virtual hug?
No,
Angelo, it's gonna be okay.
I want to get more coffee.
I didn't mean to dump on you. I'm sorry. Come on back. Bring it here. Bring it for the big guy. I'm sorry. It's gonna be
If
okay.
I was there, I would pull your beard hair. Yeah, give me a hug. Fucking pull that shit.
Get off me. All right, guys. Well, that pretty much wraps it up, huh? It's a shit show, huh?
It's always a shit show.
It's always,
That's
we're always
the
talking
end.
Bears.
That's the best shit we do. Is we just shit show it. People
Yep.
love it.
That's it. Eric Lamert, though. Thanks for coming on and joining us. Sports Mockery. Find him over at Sports Mockery. Read his articles. You can argue with him. He loves to argue with people. He'll make comments with you. It's good. It's good stuff. He's good. And special thank you to Angelo and Tyler. Thank you for joining me again this morning for Talking Football Week 9. You guys in the chat, all you people that download last week, we had our best download week of Talking Football to date. Over 9,000 downloads. So that's a good one, guys. I like that. Pretty good. So we're going.
They like my
While
crazy
we-
hair.
While we were talking and BSing for the last 20 minutes, some news came out from Adam Schefter. Pete Carroll has signed a 5-year contract extension with
Oh,
the
really?
Seattle Seahawks.
Is he going to be alive in 5 years?
Maybe not, but he is, and that will make him one of, if not the highest paid coach in the NFL.
How
Yeah,
old
I
is
mean-
Pete Carroll?
Younger than Tony La Russa.
Dude, that might be true, but how old?
He is 69. Nice.
Pete Carroll, 69 years old.
Yeah, he's a young 69.
That guy moves
70
around. That guy moves around better than I do.
74. He'll be 74 when he retires. That's nuts, man.
Dude, he moves around
Hey,
better than I do.
Our president is 78 years old. He's still got 9 years left.
Yeah, he doesn't move around. He doesn't move around like Pete Carroll does.
Yeah, that's true. He does not. Did you watch
Hey,
him try to
look.
run out on that stage? It didn't go so well.
No
Tony La
politics.
Russa's 76?
Yeah, LaRusse is
No
76.
politics. No politics. This is a sports show. We're not talking
No.
politics.
Tony La Russa? That guy's
Yeah, he's almost dead.
odd. Why would you even
Yeah,
want to coach?
The
Why?
old guys are making a comeback, man.
I
We did the-
guess.
Well, what'd you call it earlier? The boomer doomer?
Boom.
The okay, so the young kids. I read this back when COVID
The
first
kids
started.
these days.
So I saw something on Twitter from a teacher that they had to send a couple kids home from school because they were running around calling it the boomer remover.
Remover.
The boomer doomer remover.
I mean,
New
So-
T-shirt going
so
up
co-
online.
so
it.
COVID,
Boomer
COVID is
remover.
not COVID is not funny, but when I saw that, man, I lost my fucking
Listen,
mind. That was one of the-
COVID is not funny. Coco is not funny. But that shirt is hysterical, and it will be up as soon as we can.
I'll make a design for it.
We have to make a cool design for it. Boomer remover.
Boomer remover. Yeah, that'll be good.
I like it. I just put like a bunch of random masks on the floor of the shirt.
And a tombstone in the middle of
Yeah.
it.
Boomer
Oh
remover.
man,
Died at 95.
Oh, man.
All right. I'm done talking death. I got to go take down Halloween decorations.
What? I gotta go make food.
Speaking of death.
Who died?
Oh no, he said
Oh.
no, enough death. I gotta go take down Halloween decorations.
Speaking of death,
Yeah, I was like, bro, who died?
you know what's funny, dude? Like there was back on my when I was doing the Fat Mike show, there was literally, I mean, I was doing 2 shows a week, guys. Okay, I was doing 2 shows a week, and it was like 7 deaths a month that was related to sports. I swear to you, I'm not even joking. Somebody new died every single week. I mean, Charlie Fry. Who else died?
Who was that pitcher for the Marlins?
Jose Fernandez.
Yeah, man, that was a sad
Yep.
one. That guy
Tyler
was
Skaggs died.
Yep.
It's dude. Listen, it's boomer remover, dude.
Real quick, the Bears just released something on their the ChicagoBears.com page.
That they suck.
Ryan Pace does his morning interviews, pregame show.
Yeah.
He said, "We're confident in our players. They're all here for a reason, and it's because we believe in their ability." That's what I got to say to Ryan Pace.
Yep.
Right there.
Bring him on next week. He can do his interview on
Ryan Pace, I'm talking football. Yeah,
I like we
fucking
like the
suck.
guys in the room. We really like the guys in the room. They're
He's a
great.
good athlete. He gets up real good. He gets up real good. He
I
wakes
really
up.
liked Mitch's Honda that he drove. It reminded me of my Honda. Shut
I
up.
like the fact that Mitch likes boobies, and that's why we drafted him at number 2.
I wish he would have been good because I would have loved to get a kiss and titties shirt for that man. That would have been fantastic. They'd have been throwing touchdowns. It'd have been Mitch loves kissing tutties after that, but it didn't work.
No, you know we should make a shirt like Mitch loves kissing titties and not throwing tutties.
I dig it. Yo, let's write this shit
But
down.
not throwing tutties.
Kissing
Like
titties.
have a
no
wide
tutties.
open guy in the end zone like this, and then the football like on the sideline, way out of everywhere.
And then Mitch just laying there like this with some boobs on him. I got
Yeah.
it. Kissing titties, not tutties. I'm writing this shit down.
No, kissing titties, missing tutties.
That's even better.
Yeah, see? And then Green Bay sucks. Just that one.
Packers suck. I was gonna make a shirt that said Rogers Fierce Cutler just to be fucking funny, just to wear it on this show, just to fucking piss people off, because I know there's some people out there that would just get super triggered. Like, how could you say that, Aaron Rodgers? Blah, blah, blah. Like, bro, that's the point, because I know it's
I argue once a week with some shithead that's like hates Aaron Rodgers. And like on Thursday night when he was playing, I was like, man, Aaron Rodgers is very, 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 very good.
So sometimes on my social media pages, I just shit on Aaron Rodgers because I live in Wisconsin, so a lot of my friends up here are Packer fans. So I
Right.
just shit on them just to trigger these guys into a big ass argument where they're like, "How could you say that the Bears are that?" Blah, 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 blah. And then I always go, "Well, I mean, yeah, the Bears had a lot of quarterbacks, but Aaron Rodgers only has 1 Super Bowl compared to them."
There you go. Fuck
And they're like, "Oh, fucking babies."
Fucking babies.
Fucking
Even babies. Man, babies.
Fuck. All right,
But
I gotta
no,
go take down Halloween decorations. Put my Christmas.
Okay, yeah, I got stuff to do too. You guys don't want to talk anymore though? You guys good?
I'm done looking at your face, Mike.
I gotta
Jesus.
get my DFS lineup set for the week.
That sounds kinky.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. All right, guys.
Mike, I'll be messaging you in a few minutes.
All right, yeah, I gotta go too. I'll talk to you guys.
Bye.
Adios.
Peace.